What's up, you guys? Happy to have you back with me on another walk. You know, I've been thinking about all these different things I can talk about, and I want to narrow it in, but everything is so spread out for me. Everything's so connected. But I'm going to try and narrow in here. So the topic of this video is on nature and animals. How it is I personally relate to these things as an INFP. Keep in mind, I am an Enneagram Type 9, so I like to add that frame of reference when we're trying to make sense of these types of patterns. So to begin, what's going on here? So quite clearly to me, there is a deep-seated sensitivity in my psyche, in my being, to people. And it's not like people, it's emotion. It's like the part of the person that makes that person who they are, their individuality, their identity. And I think this is modulated by the right part of the brain. I like to talk about the right and the left brain a little bit, and there is some neuroscientific evidence to suggest that our emotions, our individuality, our quote-unquote selves are modulated by the right side of the brain. And the left part of the brain is more confirming these preconceptions, confirming these notions through like lexical reasoning and language processes and things like that. I can't go on a walk without walking into a spider web. But the point to be made is clearly there is a penchant here with me for dealing with people, for personal information, impersonal data, statistical analysis, objective measures of the world, scientific inquiry. They don't get me. You know, if I was to learn about the nature of reality through empirical methods as a scientist, I would be thinking about how I could use these methods to improve the lives of others, to grant more meaning to people, to give back. And, you know, there's a reason for that. Because of temperament and because of the way I am. So there is a capacity here for, I think, a preference for interpersonal relations. And really the humanities, I think. So that's pretty neat, isn't it? So how I relate to nature and animals is bound up with that, because when I'm dealing with nature, I'm dealing with how nature relates to me as a person. And for whatever reason, there's something inherent, there's something quote-unquote innate or intrinsically healing about the properties of the natural world. You know, our bodies operate through negative and positive feedback mechanisms, otherwise known as homeostatic regulation. And really, disease is considered a disruption in these processes. And health is maintenance of these homeostatic mechanisms. And there are parts of ourselves that take precedence in these processes, namely our relationships, our identities. And I think that's what I'm like wired up to see. I'm wired up to see the importance of that, the importance of life having meaning, the importance of people sharing who they are in an authentic way, in a way that like comes from the heart, and not really the heart. I mean, you can think about it biologically, like there are these lower parts of the brain that kind of color our world. They can color our world with fear, with anxiety, with suffering and despair. Or they can color our world with feelings of positive hope and expectation. And you know, I'm like, I think I'm primed. I'm primed to see that, and to kind of demand it. In many respects, I demand, as I like to say, depth. I demand depth. I demand meaning. And I think bound up with that is something that I consistently return to, namely vulnerability. vulnerability. To be vulnerable. Yes. That is a life maxim of mine, to present myself as I am, in as much of a pure and authentic way as I can. And that's bound up with vulnerability and pain and suffering. So these things have a lot to do with nature, and we relate to the world through these things. And that's really what I'm getting at in this video. A reflection on nature and animals is bound up in human nature, in the way that our quote-unquote nature, our natural predisposition, processes the natural world. And there's something quite special about the way that man processes the world, because man can domesticate animals, man can take care of animals, and it's funny too, because animals can humble man. Animals can orient man towards how it is man should be, or the opposite. Because men can abuse animals. If I'm anxious, if I'm afraid, I'm terrified, my dog will pick up on that, receive these tones, these emotional tones, and in a sense be programmed to expect those tones. Similarly, humans do this as well. But we have a unique capacity in that we are able to turn away, to use our prefrontal, really, capacities for self-awareness, for self-concept, and the future, to shape our lives, and to, quote-unquote, will whatever it is we find to be worth willing, to be good. So, didn't really stay on track, did I? But I hope you got something out of this video. Hope you got to know me a little better through this video. I think the point was to say, I'm an INFP. I'm a 9. I'm sensitive to nonverbals. I'm sensitive to nonverbal information, to emotional information, and it's a pleasure. It's a joy to be this way, and I hope that you guys can see that part of your lives. Because that's why I make these videos, to kind of remind people of the capacity for meaning and for positive experiences of authentic vulnerability. That seems to be it. So take care, you guys. If you want to see more videos like these, my name's Joey. Comment, subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.